I'm gonna put this a little bit lower. That seems like you're staring at the ceiling instead of us, which the ceiling may be more exciting with us, but nevertheless, I'd rather you see us than the ceiling. Okay, is that a little better? You're seeing piles of fabric. I wonder why. Welcome in. It's a busy night on Whatnot. So we'll see how many people need help and advice rather than shopping, right? Let me get my straw out of the way. All right, I'm Dana. This is Bert. We are Draz. And this is our monthly community support seller chat. And today we have a specific topic that we're going to talk about. And we're going to talk about growing on social media. And it was a topic that when I was assigned this topic, I honestly was like, crap, I'm not really good with social media. I mean, I use it and I have grown my presence on social media, but I don't consider myself a social media guru, expert, anything. And as bad as I am about it, he's probably like,
10 times worse.
I don't think he even can log into most of his
Oh, baloney.
social media. He's not a big
That
social media
that's a
person.
baloney.
So I was thinking about it and I was like, what am I going to have to offer about social media? But I do use it and I use it effectively and I do feel like it makes a big difference. So, this is what I came up with. Thanks for being here, everybody. Please read the show notes. And if you have questions or comments, please put a question mark on there, show it so that it shows up in chat in bold. All right.
I think the challenge with social media, and part of the reason that Dana is saying this is there are people on Whatnot and other platforms where they talk about being on Whatnot or they talk about doing whatever they do, but really what they are is they're making money by getting people to do clicks or visits or things like that. And so really whatever income they're making on Whatnot is secondary to whatever they're doing
Elsewhere.
elsewhere. And so and there
It's
seems to
intimidating to those of us who don't have, we're not monetized on 5 social media platforms and making our money that way, and I would guess most of you would say the same thing. So, I feel like because I thought about it and I thought, "Well, I'm probably in really good company." We're on the platform in the fabric category. You're all here for a lot of the same reasons, and so I'm in good company because most of you, and tell me differently if that's the case in chat, but is there anyone here in chat that considers themselves like an influencer, or I'm huge on social media, I have a big following? Yeah. So, I mean, I feel like we're in good company. So I wasn't as intimidated thinking about it from that perspective. But anyway, my thought was the way that I wanted to present this topic tonight was this way. So I came up with a motto theme for this, and this is what I came up with: branching out, grow as you go. And I have this in the auction tab. So in the auction tab, let me get it pinned. So this whole document is in there for you to just screenshot. So on your screen, just tap the picture of the item that I pinned. So I pinned this little tree document, tap it again, and you've got the whole document. Take a nice screenshot of that. And then you can actually, if you have a printer and you want to print it out, or you can just pull it up, on your device, put it somewhere so that you have this to reference to. So, I actually did put together a whole bunch of different ideas that go along with this, that are read through it. And I'm going to go through these and kind of give you my thoughts about all these different things that are on here. But my theme was, again, branching out, grow as you go. And you've got your, so if you picture, planting a small tree, a sapling, the tree has a trunk, no matter how big it is yet. And your trunk is defining your core values, having a goal, a mission, and creating a strong narrative that connects you with your audience. So, whatever who you are is your trunk. Your trunk. That's the core values of what you want to represent as your business, as your who you are on the platform. And I think that's really important because whether you actually think about it or not, when you go live on this platform, you are creating an image around who you are and what you have to offer, what you sell, how you sell it, how you fulfill your orders, what kind of a show you have. You're creating this core of what you are. And so in this visual, that is the trunk of your tree, your core, what you do. And then the branches of this tree, um, are these, hello, crazy fabric ladies. So the branches of the tree are these little things, out here to the side that we're going to talk about. But I want you to really kind of visualize and think about, what is my core? What am I representing when I come on here and go live? What do people see and what are they going to expect from now on based on what I'm doing? Now, can it change? Yes. And if you feel like you got off to the wrong start when you started selling on this app, take a step back and rewrite your core. Rewrite what you want to do. Have a plan so that what you present and when you go live is what you want to present from then on. So, and then we branch out from there. So on the branches, we have personal branding and identity building. It is important to kind of build a brand. And when you think of the word brand, everybody thinks of, you know,
Oh,
here we go. Here's a brand. Burt's Snacks sitting here. This is a brand, and everyone has a visualization when you see this brand of what it means. It means yummy, buttery, delicious crackers, right? So, you know, they have a core value to their branding that you can look at that brand and kind of visualize what it is, right? So you need to do the same thing with how you present yourself on whatnot. And it has to do with not only a logo of some sort, which could be anything almost, because a logo is just a consistent thing that you carry with you throughout all of your, you know, your profile, your listings, your presence on social media, everything you do needs to be, consistent with that brand, the colors you use, the logo, the the themes that you use, the consistency and the visuals, all of those things. So that's all outlined right here in bigger words. um, so that was kind of what I wanted to come across there. Um, Also important with that is building the trust and the loyalty and engaging authentically with your community. So, all of those things are important with building your brand and your identity on here. Um, can you guys share in chat with me a couple of sellers besides us or besides, you guys? Tell me a couple of sellers on Whatnot that you feel like they have hit the ballpark with, having a core value and then really building a brand and an identity that's very recognizable. Um, very like you just see that and you're like, they are awesome, they are hot, they are good. Give me a couple of seller names in chat that you feel like they have done really well with that. It doesn't necessarily have to be in our category, can be in any category. All right, so we've got Zoe's Treasures, Terry's D Stash, So Happy Crafting, um, House of Coop. House of Coop is probably the one that I would think of almost immediately because they are masters at making sure that everything is consistent across all social media with everything they do, and very recognizable, trustworthy, all those things,
Can
right?
can I say something really quick?
Yes.
If you're if you're not new to selling, if maybe you've been on Whatnot a little while, or you come from a sales background, this is probably all just like uh, repetitive. But if you're brand new to sales, and I know a lot of people that get into Whatnot are brand spanking new to sales. Maybe they've been a school teacher their whole life, or they've been some other job where they don't really sell things. What she means by this, by having a core value and things like that, is you kind of have to determine what you want to be as a business. For example, do you want to be the kind of business where you sell things for at a very low starting price and you're trying to just move volumes of stuff and that's your main focus? Or do you want to be someone who the customers are very, very pleased with and love to come to your show because they get the highest quality merchandise and they're very, very pleased with their purchases and they absolutely love the insight that you give them. If you were going to be a low cost and blow and go, a good thing to look at would be how like the people that sell the snacks in the boxes and stuff run their business. They don't normally show their faces. It's just shoving that stuff in the box as fast as they can and selling it dirt cheap versus you may see like a fabric seller who takes 5 or 6 minutes to explain a piece of fabric before she actually sells it, but then she sells it at a higher starting thing. So that's kind of what Dana means by determining what your core value is.
You bought 5 of those snack boxes the other night. Yeah, I've been avoiding them because too many of them. It's, like, all chocolate, and I'm like, "I can't do it." Um,
But she bought me some beef jerky
yeah, I
boxes.
did
Those are
buy
good.
some. They were well, for a while, they were doing really good with, like, the protein, snack boxes, and they've kind of moved away from that. Maybe it got too expensive, I don't know. But it's, like, all chocolate now, and I'm like, "Ugh, okay," even though I love chocolate.
I'm like, yum.
Um, So, of course, the trifecta of what he was talking about just now would be to be able to do a good blend of all of those things. So, still run a fast show, still offer really good products at a good value, and have really good fulfillment and all of that. And I think that's kind of what everyone should want to achieve because that's what helps you build long lasting um growth in your business, is that you built a brand that people love, trust, enjoy, know that you provide good customer service, all those things. So, some of those sellers on here who are just blow and go and they don't really, they're just moving from one thing to the next, but they aren't really providing value or good customer service. Do they do well? Yeah, but are they really building a brand that's going to last? It depends, you know. So you have to decide, what, and I don't know that a lot of those sellers really think this through, that core value of what's really going to help you grow deep roots, tall tree, lots of branches of how you really expand your business. Because sometimes those are flash in the pan. They got a great deal on something, they sell it as fast as they can. And then what? You know? So have to decide what kind of thing are you building here? And I think Whatnot, of course, wants the sellers who really want to have that strong growth and really grow a big strong network that is going to be a lasting thing, because there's always new sellers coming on that are going to blow and go, but then they're gone the next day. They want a core of sellers who really want to have, this long-term growth, long-term strategy, really care about the product, that and the care about the product. By product, I mean Whatnot. Care about being on Whatnot, wanting to be an important seller with a, really good core brand that has really thought through what they're building. So, these are some ideas to kind of help you think that through. I always tell people, when you come to my shows, I hope that you leave with things that you can think about for yourself to help you decide how to build yourself a better business, because I can't just tell you what to do. You've got to figure it out and make it work for yourself. Do some sellers work for Whatnot? Well, interestingly, the answer to that is yes and no. Everybody who works for Whatnot is highly encouraged to also be a seller. So, because they want their employees to intimately know how the platform works. So yes, you may not know they work for Whatnot, but they do sell, most of them or a lot of them, at least sometimes. For example, I'll just give you one example. So there's an account, Silver Drip, Silver Drip, and he is the community support team manager, and he sells with his nephew a couple of times a month, I think, and they sell Hot Wheels, so die-cast cars. But is that his full-time job? No. But he loves doing it, and he's highly encouraged as a Whatnot employee to know how to use the platform. So, could you encounter sellers who are Whatnot employees? Yes. Will they necessarily advertise it? No, because they don't want, people coming to their shows and trying to pick their brain or give them crap about you're a Whatnot employee. Does that make sense? I personally do not work for Whatnot. I'm just part of a community support team of sellers who has a relationship where we do themed shows once a month, and we have a way that we communicate with the community support team on Whatnot and provide feedback, and then they have give us certain amounts of information and help to help the community in general. How can you become part of a community seller support? It's an invitation that they extend to sellers that they like what they're doing, who are doing community shows, who network, who've achieved certain levels of growth. So it's not really you can't really like apply or anything. It's just kind of they invite sellers that they try to get a well-rounded group of people from a lot of different categories. So, yeah. All right, let's go to this other branch. Um, Yeah, anyone can do seller support shows on your own. Um, I would just recommend that if you do that, please be very careful about advice that you give. Make sure that you're familiar with terms of service and how shipping works and how other things work so that you are giving good advice to other sellers and not creating problems. How
And,
does
uh,
that make
yeah,
sense?
along
Does
that line too, for those of you that are tuning in to try and learn, don't listen to just us either.
Right.
Yeah, get other perspectives and be careful. Take everything you learn, and research it, because I've seen seller support shows where they feed people a bunch of hogwash that's just
Yeah.
really bad.
Yeah.
If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is.
Yeah. Yeah. So be very careful. Um, and I would say too, I mean, this show is scheduled under the fabric category, and so it's not really being shared outside of our category a whole lot. But always listen to advice from sellers who sell similar, or at least giving you advice to make sure that it works for what you sell. Does that make sense? Yeah. Yeah, if they're selling their $75 PDF guide, yeah, be leery. Be leery. Um, and that's why I always share in my shows. If you look at my show notes, I tell people every seller support show, go to the official source first. If you're new on this platform and you haven't gone through the Seller Academy and gone through all the tutorials that Whatnot offers and gone to Seller Help through them first, then you haven't done your due diligence as a new seller and learned the platform from the official source first. Do that first. Go read the terms of service. Go read what you signed up to do. Read the emails from Whatnot and all the stuff that they're telling you to go look at and read before you come start asking everybody else for advice. Can you recommend a bookkeeping or business accounting software you use that is compatible with Whatnot? There really isn't one because there's no way that you can um I mean, you can download your ledger and put it into a spreadsheet. So honestly, the best answer to that is just one that allows you to download, you know, data and put it in a spreadsheet format. So that, I mean, we're talking QuickBooks, some of the other
Right.
softwares. Um, and as far as advice about that, I will just say get an accountant who knows how to do
Right.
small business 1099 income. Make sure that whoever is helping you with bookkeeping and accounting knows how to do small business, because small business is a whole different beast than other types of business. So
Can
my reseller Genie works with Whatnot. There you go.
can
So
I
you're
just,
downloading your data off of Whatnot into reseller Genie.
when you're new to business and you get yourself set up in business and you create your LLC or however you want to set yourself up, please try to find an accountant that will talk to you and work with you, because the reality is all of them just use software where they just plug the numbers in,
Right.
and they don't necessarily look at everything the right way, or they'll make a lot of assumptions. And so you need one who will take the time to sit down with you and help you, because our accountant has saved us thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars in taxes and stuff by being willing to sit with us and talk through different options and different things that we can do.
Yeah.
So that's the main thing I would say is find an accountant you can trust, and if you find one that doesn't pay you the time you need, there's a bazillion accountants out there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah. And ask other, people in your area that use that kind of stuff. Do you track mileage when you source and save all your receipts? Well, yeah. I mean, anything that you do that is business related, you need to keep all records of all of that. Yeah. Because there's certain, strategies for how you can claim certain deductions for small business that includes just pretty much everything you do. Okay. All right. Branches. Now we want to talk more specifically about social media. First of all, again, I told you right up front, I'm not the end all be all. I'm not even close to being an expert on anything social media. But here's what I will tell you. It does make a big difference for you in the long run if you will build or start doing stuff on social media. One of the things that you can automatically do on Whatnot is you can do what is called multicast, and you're allowed to do that on YouTube and Facebook and Twitch, which I don't use, so I don't know how that one works. Um, I'd never even heard of Twitch, honestly, before. And let me just show you what that looks like. So you have to set it up, and when you go into a show, so I'm just going to show you on this show that's scheduled, my walk and talk that's scheduled for tomorrow. So you open the show on the device that you're going to start streaming from. Okay. And I'm going to press start show, but I'm not going to go live. Instead, I'm showing you that here you have YouTube and Facebook coming up because I have it set up to automatically link and go live on both Facebook and YouTube when I go live on Whatnot. So when I'm live on Whatnot, I'm actually live on three places. Now, in an ideal world, I would love to be able to interact with. Thank you, Sowing Love Seeds, for the raid. Thank you for coming in. Um, so you edit streaming options is what you do to get these set up. And you do have to have a certain number of followers on the platform for it to allow you to multicast. And Sowing Love Seeds, let me pull up your profile really quick and share so that everyone can give you a follow. So here is Sowing Love Seeds. Here we go. Can everyone please give her a follow? She's right there in chat. Tanny just tagged her. Thank you, Tanny. And give her a follow. And she has a show on the 18th. That's Saturday at 3:30 p.m. my time, Mountain Time. One on the 20th and one on the 22nd. She has three shows in there that you can bookmark. Please do that. And thank you so much for the raid. All right, let's get our first giveaway started. Thinking of that. So I make these little fabric bookmarks with the Whatnot fabric, and I give these away in my seller chats, the monthly seller chats. So if you'd like one of these little Whatnot logoed fabric bookmarks, it has a pretty dance pattern. These can double as a little coaster if you want them to, and they hook on the corner of a book page, and you can have yourself a little Whatnot logoed fabric bookmark. So everyone getting that giveaway. All right. So, and we're not selling anything. This is a free gift. So please, everybody, do get in the giveaway. It's running. Free gift from me. It comes in an envelope. Don't feel like you need to buy anything because we're not selling anything except for free information. So there you go.
hello.
All right. Social media. You need to set that multicasting up if you feel like it will be beneficial for you. And how do you determine if it's going to be beneficial? Well, if you already have Facebook and YouTube and you already have at least the minimum required followers, 50 is what it is on YouTube. Facebook, I think it's 100. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. And once you have that, you can multicast. It is a little bit tricky to set up. I'm going to tell you to go and watch the YouTube videos that D Archivist has for multicasting. So I just tagged her in chat. She's she's a tech genius on Whatnot. She has really good tech videos. So if you need to know how to do the multicasting, if it's being tricky for you, she has videos that walk you through the whole thing. It actually is self-explanatory when you click that button to set it up. But like I said, sometimes there's settings within the platform that make it so you have to do certain things to get it set up. So again, you open the show, you hit start, but instead of go live, you're going to edit streaming options. And then it's going to take you to a screen and you're going to try and link your YouTube and Facebook. And like I said, it has Twitch as well if you're on there. Okay. And then once you get those set up, every time you go live, you're going to be multicasting on those platforms. And it will bring people to your shows. They'll see you live on YouTube or on Facebook, and what it shows on your, let me show you what it shows on your social media. So when you open, I can't go to Facebook on this device, but I can show you on YouTube because I don't have my Facebook on this iPad. But on YouTube, when you go in there, so here's my YouTube account. Okay. And here is this live stream. So if I click that, see, we're live on YouTube. And this is what it shows is this QR code that people can actually just click. It's a clickable QR code and it will bring them over to Whatnot to join the app, or if they're already on the app, it just is like, "Oh, they're live." Boom, and they come into your show directly. So either way, okay? Isn't that amazing? So if you didn't know you could do this, you need to be doing this, especially if you already have YouTube and Facebook set up. Okay? And if you don't, how do you start? Well, you just start. You create an account that is consistent with your brand on Whatnot, and you create an account on Facebook and on YouTube, and you start building a following. And then when you have enough followers, then you start multicasting. It's baby steps to growth because social media does help you grow. Okay. Um, Utilize the different platforms that you feel like work for you, will give you the best bang for your buck, so to speak. You're not really paying, but it gives you, you know, our category, probably the biggest platform for our category is Facebook because we have a tend to have, we have a winner.
Holly
Holly
1313.
1313, you're getting one of these cute bookmarks. Congrats. Thanks for being here. And that will come to you. Um, so Facebook, honestly, I feel like the demographic on Facebook is probably the best for our brand, for our category, not brand, category. But TikTok is huge in quilting and fabric. I don't love TikTok, but you should be on TikTok because there is a huge amount of people on there in the quilting, sewing, fabric community. And if you'll get on TikTok, create an account, and start interacting and networking, it can bring you people to your shows. Share your shows. The other thing I love about TikTok um, is that I love that you can create really cute videos and then you can use those videos on your other social media. It automatically will link it over to Facebook. You can then put it also onto Instagram, and you can use those little videos if they're short enough on your video on your Whatnot show. So if you've ever seen one of my thumbnail shows where I have a video on there, that's where I'm creating them is on TikTok because it's super easy to create them there. Okay. Let's see. I've always wondered about TikTok's percentages. Yeah, I don't know. I just know that I get a lot of interaction there, and I do get people coming from TikTok. So I feel like it's worth it to post there. Do I post there every day? No. Mostly what I post there is I share my shows. I put cute little videos together on there that I then use on Facebook, Instagram, and on my Whatnot shows. Is that the best use? I don't know. But it's working. It's working for me. Okay. So it does help bring people over. Let's see. I do really like Whatnot because you don't get flagged or banned over the little things. Yeah. Yeah. So TikTok, I don't sell on TikTok. I just use it as social media. So that's, what I'm using it for. One of the little bullet points under this side is announce your upcoming shows with engaging visuals and updates. And that's where you do that. You announce it in advance on social media. So a lot of our bigger sellers here on the platform have Whatnot accounts, or not Whatnot accounts, Facebook accounts that are groups. So almost all the big sellers and a lot of the smaller sellers even have Facebook groups that they interact with. And I think that makes a big difference. I have Facebook. I've been really lazy about creating a group because I manage too many other Facebook pages. Um, but I do interact with people on Facebook and I'm part of the other groups as well. So I think starting a Facebook group once you hit a certain level is not a bad idea because you can then interact with your followers on Whatnot off the platform on Facebook. You can announce your shows, you can show them things that are coming up, you can do fun little, you know, posts about things, you can have people share their makes. That's a big thing that we all do, right? We share what we make on those Facebook groups and everybody loves it. Everybody loves to see what everybody's making. You get ideas, you love all over it. Everybody you know, gets excited about what everybody's making. You get to see some of the fabric you sold people being made into stuff that makes me so happy. I get tickled pink when I see fabric that I sold someone made into something. It makes my day. Okay. So all those good things. Um, you can also use other apps, and I don't use any, but you have apps out there that can actually help you create content and then schedule posts. Um, so if ask around which ones people are using, because you can then create content that just regularly goes out there and posts it on all your social media. It gives you a consistent, constant um, presence on those social medias to help get you a lot of attention. Does anyone have something like that that they're using that they feel like has been effective and worth, paying for? Because most of those kinds of services you do have to pay as some kind of subscription for. Um, I don't know. I've kind of feel like I'm I don't like paying for stuff because then I feel like I have to be structured with how they're doing stuff. And I feel boxed in, if that makes sense. Um, so, I have mixed feelings about stuff like that. All right. And then the things that are on here for roots are build a cohesive presence across all the platforms, foster community engagement to strengthen your relationships, embrace continuous learning and adaptation in your marketing efforts. So, no matter what it is that you start doing in your little baby steps to grow, um, continue to learn how to use, marketing and social media and different strategies to grow your business. Don't be afraid to go learn something new. It's so exciting to go and learn a new platform or learn a new software or learn how a different social media can you that you can use it to grow and change up how you're doing things. So always learn and grow and learn new things and set goals for yourself with social media, just like you're setting goals on whatnot for like financial things or for how much you sell or how long you stay live. Set goals with how often you post on social media, the content you post, and just do little baby steps. And pretty soon you're going to see, a lot of consistency and growth with that. Actionable marketing tactics really do, in small steps, really do improve your marketing gradually. So, and then a big thing on here is sharing your experiences with the community. Um, so, Bert mentioned House of Coop. If you go to their Facebook, I would highly recommend that you follow them on Facebook because they are really good about how they post and what they post. And it's literally like you're following along on their whatnot journey. I'm not there yet. I'm too all over the place. I've got too much going on in my life. But if you can get to where you're sharing the whole journey, the backstory, the front story, the in between story, it really does help grow your business because people are really engaged with what you're doing all along the process. Does that make sense? So then they're excited to come to your shows because they saw what you sourced, they saw where you went, they saw the little things, and they're going to be able to chat with you in your show about things that happened because you posted and shared. So if you're able and willing to share the whole process on social media, it really does engage your viewers and help people be excited about coming to your shows and being part of that whole process. So I like that idea. um, if you have the time and you have the ability to do that, go for it because it can make a big, big, big difference. All right. That's kind of all I really wanted to share. And my main theme was this is don't get intimidated by thinking that when you start selling on here that you have to bam already have this huge social media presence. Go out there, build it all, build the pages, engage, engage, engage. It's no, it's branching out, grow as you go. Don't get intimidated by it. Do it step by step, but be consistent and set goals. And, this you can refer to this to kind of, help you come up with some specific things that you can do. So I want to open up the chat for any questions or comments you have about that or other topics. Let me get my other giveaway going. And we were going to kind of keep this short and sweet tonight. And I'm on every Tuesday and Thursday morning on my treadmill, walking and talking, chatting, and everyone's welcome to come in and ask questions and get guidance. Um, so, what comments, questions, anything that you guys need help with, get in that giveaway that's running for another one of these cute fabric bookmarks. Everybody get in the giveaway. Nobody wants a fabric bookmark for free? Okay, that's fine. I'll keep it.
We got a couple. We got some
Okay,
people
people
there.
are getting in there. All right. So, um, Whatnot logoed merch. We're all dying and waiting for them to get a merch store up and running. They haven't done that yet. So, Fabric Bookmark is running. Everybody get in for that. And what is my Facebook name? Draz on Whatnot. So that is my consistent name across all social media. I used Draz on Whatnot because Draz was too short for some of them. They wouldn't allow it. And so I just used Draz on Whatnot, all one word. And that's what I am on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. So yeah.
It was House of Coop.
Yes, House of Coop. I can tag them in chat. I think they're actually live tonight.
Do we think there'll be another event like the Austin one coming up? Most likely, that will become an annual event.
Yeah, that will become an annual event, in my opinion. It is geared to, um, it was not geared for new sellers. They did not invite new sellers for a reason. The reason that the summit is happening is because it is for um, sellers who want to level up. And so the content of that summit is going to be more like, what can you do? Okay, you're doing well, but what can you do to do even better? But if you go in my show notes, so in the show notes, the very last starred bullet.
Oh, she got invited but hesitated and now regrets.
Oh, yeah. So in my show notes, the very last starred bullet is to the Meetup hub. So if you go there, meetups.whatnot.com, you can see if there are any local meetups happening in your area.
Those are fun.
They're super fun. We did one here in Utah last February, so February of 2025. And it's amazing how much growth the platform has had in our state since then, a year ago. We had how many? About 25 other sellers that
Yeah.
came to that
Yeah.
local meetup. And now, if I were to do another one here in Utah, we'd probably have a couple hundred sellers.
And
So,
if you go to one of those, you'll meet people who uh, they have just really unique ideas and approaches and I thought it was cute. We met a couple that they were really they had gone out and they got t-shirts and logos and everything and they were really into it I think did they work in the comic book
yeah, they were
they
comic
were
book.
comic book people and you just get all kinds of ideas about different things and you can incorporate stuff from other
Right, you just
settlers
pick
into
each
your
other's brain. It's fun to get together with people like-minded who are doing what you do, because the people right around you, your family, your close friends, don't get what you're doing, right?
yeah
So,
kidding
to answer your question, that information is that it's the last starred bullet in the show notes. So just tap the show notes and scroll all the way to the bottom, and it's this website, meetups.whatnot.com. So it's a website that Whatnot put together, and it shows you any of those local meetups that are happening. And it also allows you to apply if you want to try and have a Whatnot sponsored meetup in your local area. So, yeah, go to that website. This is about to draw. So let's see who wins the bookmark. Going to Tanny. Congrats. That's coming to you. Um, so yeah, definitely go to that website. And let's see,
get
another
paid for
comment.
Is Meetup active?
The local meetups you don't have to pay for usually. They're just, a bunch of people get together at a restaurant. Sometimes if Whatnot sponsors it, they will pay for the meal. If it's a not, like just a bunch of people getting together that are Whatnot sellers, but
Go
not
order
necessarily
Diet Coke
sponsored,
if you wanna
you
go
know,
on
you
the
meet
cheap.
up and buy your own. It's that way. So yeah. Let's see. I'm struggling with camera setup. I was hoping they'd have vendors and ideas I haven't thought of. Oh, okay. Yeah. I don't know if they're gonna have vendors at this one or not. They haven't said. I got the impression it was more like big, big group meeting, big rah-rah, and then they're going to have breakout sessions about different topics and have different speakers, and most of them are Whatnot sellers. So that's what I've understood. That Meetup app isn't something you have to pay for. It's just it's not an app. It's just a website that Whatnot put together to show you what local, what meetups are happening. So it's just like what's coming up, local meetups. Okay. So it's not anything you have to pay for.
If anything amazing or wild or interesting happens in Austin, we'll be sure and share it,
Yeah,
through our
I'll come
socials.
back from that and definitely talk a lot about what my takeaways were and share with you guys all the things that I learned. Um, so yeah, I mean, I'll come back and share everything I felt like is shareable and exciting to tell.
I'll come back and let you know what tasted good at the buffet.
Um, but
The
let me
important
just
stuff.
show you in the show notes, all those starred bullets, make sure you have a screenshot of the show notes with those starred bullets so you can remember the places you can go to get help and information. And if you go out to the For You page and type in seller, Whatnot sellers. So this is an official account. So just like your account, this is an account and they do live shows. And the next one is on 421 and it is one of the Whatnot um, media expert people. Her name is Isley, and she's going to talk about this topic: social media like a pro, grow your Whatnot business. And then on the 6th of May, they have one scheduled for product updates. So make sure you go in and bookmark these shows on that account because they are either Whatnot employees giving out information or interviewing other sellers, or their Whatnot employees telling you things, and they're great shows to be in. You're so welcome. You're so welcome. Yeah. So this is the Whatnot seller account. So just go out to the For You page and type in Whatnot sellers. It's all one word, and it's an account, just like your account is an account. And they have shows. And they usually do giveaways in those shows too, so sometimes you could possibly win some Whatnot swag. So, yeah. But yeah, go to that account, that Meetup account, and see if there's anything happening in your local area. Maybe let's go look. Let me just go out to a browser and pull that up. So meetups dot whatnot dot com. And let's see what is on there right now. Okay, so here we go. So right now, scheduled, we have the Hodgepodge Place is doing one in Syracuse, New York in June. Slap Daddy's doing one in June in Connorsville, Indiana. Nikki is so blessed is doing one in Abilene, Texas in June. And then Jen Jig is doing one in Charlotte, North Carolina. Okay. And it shows you that Hodgepodge, hers is being sponsored by Whatnot. Jen's is being sponsored by Whatnot. These two are meetups where they're just getting together. Whatnot's not gonna sponsor it or pay for it, but they're gonna get together. All right. So those are the ones that are on the calendar right now. And then if you look on this, you can apply to sponsor a meetup. So if you want to have a meetup in your area and you're willing to organize it, you can apply and they may or may not um,
Yeah, it
possibly sponsor it.
depends upon what's in the best interest of Whatnot.
Right.
So
So they may or may not sponsor it. Okay. So there you go. That's what's on there for right now. And then they just add those as as they add more, they put them in here. So there you go. Anyway, and there's nice information on there about what to expect if you go to one of those. Um, but yeah, it's just a lot of fun because it just makes a big difference to be able to get together with other sellers and chat and network and get ideas. And, you might even run into other sellers in your local area that sell in a different category, but they can help you source because they see or hear about or learn about things you sell, but they don't want to sell. Does that make sense? It's a good strategy for sourcing to get together with other sellers who might be able to help you source in your category. All right. Any other comments or questions about social media or any other things? Let me just make sure I didn't miss any questions while I was pulling those things up. All right, looks like I didn't miss any other that are bolded. Did anyone have anything else they want to chat about? Questions, things you need help with? Just ask with a question mark. Otherwise, we're going to wrap it up. And just check in any of my seller chat shows. Let me just show you again really quickly.
Spinnerway wants to ask again where to go the meetup list.
Oh, okay, so it's in the show notes. So just go into the show notes. So on your screen, click the little show notes. Boom. And then you're going to scroll down all the way to the bottom. And that last starred bullet is the meetups.whatnot.com. That's the website. So you just type it in just like that, meetups.whatnot.com. So,
Any suggestions on how to source HBA?
any suggestions on how to source HBA? Okay, you're gonna have to tell me what HBA is. Because it's not, that acronym is not. Oh,
Oh,
health
and
and beauty. I don't really mingle with anyone in that category. Where I live, the people who sell that kind of stuff are buying usually in pallets. We have a couple in Utah, we have a couple of liquidator type businesses that buy truckloads and then they have pallet auctions, and that's where people are getting it. I will tell you, you have to be very, very, very careful where you source from and make sure they're reputable.
and start small.
Start
Start
really
small.
small.
For example, you will find people who sell out of a locker, or people who because okay, so you've got the big companies that create the product, and then you've got companies that buy, like when a truck crashes, or when there's an overstock, or the packaging is mislabeled or something like that, and they'll buy a truckload or a warehouse full. But then you have people that will buy a pallet and break it down and sell it to you. You have stores, so you can go to, like, for example, there's a store, a chain of stores here where we live, that they buy distressed merchandise, or when a truck crashes and things like that. And from time to time, they'll put the health and beauty stuff on sale for 30 to 40% off. Well, you can go buy 4 or 5 bottles of this or that or whatever that's on discount. And so you're not going to make a huge amount of profit on that, but it will give you variety. But I would do that before I'd go buy a pallet of something. Before I'd go buy a pallet, and then it turns out that it's 28 cases
The exact same
of
thing,
face masks
and they're all
that nobody
expired.
wants anymore,
Yeah.
or hand sanitizer that you can get anywhere. You know, Go buy a few nail polish or whatever that is popular, and sell it. There's a lip balm that's really popular right now. I can't remember what it's called, but it has a real big tube. They had those on sale at that store, and I recognized other people that sold online buying 4 or 5 packages of those, and
Right.
then they were breaking them down into individual units to sell in their shows.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, and I
um,
would yeah, if you're sourcing from Whatnot right now, it is hard to then get a profit. I think something that people neglect often is what is retail. Um, if you're not figuring out what's available in your local area that is retail, because there's the term retail arbitrage. You go find what's on clearance at your local stores, and you can source it and then flip it for a profit because people are willing to buy it from you online because they didn't have to go to the store to get it. Does that make sense? So don't discount retail arbitrage. You really can get some really good deals on stuff in retail.
right. For example, within a pretty close drive to our house, is a factory that is one of the largest taffy factories in the country. And so for a while, we were sourcing the taffy and including that in our shows and selling it at a discount. And it was interesting because pretty soon we noticed somebody else on Whatnot was selling it too, but at quite a larger
Larger
margin,
price, yeah.
larger, yeah, because they were 4, 5, 6 states away from us. We weren't paying the shipping on it, so that made the difference because we could just walk into the factory, buy what we wanted. If something was on promotion, we could buy that, and we could discount it.
Yeah.
I mean, we kind of stopped doing the taffy because we found out that 3/4 of the year it kind of melts before it gets to its
Yeah,
intended.
it's hard to
A
ship.
lot of our customer base is in the southeast, Texas, and other parts of the country that are warm, and
Yeah, it wasn't
it wasn't worth the risk.
right,
Yeah.
yeah.
So that's just an
But
example.
that is a good that made me think of something with sourcing, which is a lot of people don't realize what you might actually find that is made or manufactured close to where you live. So always do a lot of research about what is made close to you because there may be opportunities for you go to, factory sales, factory stores, or buy direct from the manufacturer in your local areas. So always do research to find out what's close to you. And by close, I mean, drivable distance. Maybe it's a 5-hour drive, but it's worth it to go there to source the merchandise because you can drive and not have to pay huge shipping and you can get a whole bunch of stuff all at once. So that's another thought. Health and beauty is kind of tricky because you are working with, merchandise that has a limited shelf life, so you do have to be
And
concerned about
right,
that too.
and you can get it at just about any store on the planet.
Well, certain brands.
Yeah.
Yeah, certain brands. I mean, most of the sellers selling in health and beauty are looking for, specific, poshy brands that people are looking for. So, yeah. All right. Any other, things that you want to talk about, questions you have? Um, Otherwise, we're gonna go find someone to raid, wrap it up, and please bookmark upcoming seller chats. And yeah, in like a week, let's see, we're going to Austin on the 20. That summit is on the 25th, and so the week after that, I'll be in those walk and talks talking about what our experience was there and how that summit went. So make sure you tune in for those shows. That'll be fun to talk about. All right. Oh, and I was going to show you in my auction tab. So if you tap the shop, so any show that you're in, just tap the shop button. So any of my walk and talks or seller chats, and then navigate it. Usually when you're on your own screen, it puts you in the buy it now, but tap the auction tab. So this auction tab is full, chock full of all of these listings that are not stuff for really technically for sale. They are informational. So you just click the picture, and like this is one of my popular ones that I put together. So, oh, we just got rated Creative Treasures. Thank you for the raid. So this is one of my popular ones. So you just click the picture, click it again, it brings it up big, you take a screenshot, and then you have this nice little um, document to help you think through some things that you need to learn for how whatnot works and what you can do to grow your business. All right, let me pull up Creative Treasures. Thank you so much for the raid. Hope you had a good show. And here is Creative Treasures. Thank you so much. Make sure you're following them. And they sell lots of stuff, but they have knitting and crochet, scrapbook and journaling, quilting patterns, diamond art kits, all things scrapbooking and fabric. And do you guys have, don't you guys have like a little like store? Oh yeah, you have a little storefront. So secondhand craft supply and handmade consignment store in Longmont, Colorado. There you go. Anyone that lives close to them, they might be a good source. So if you live close, go source in Longmont, Colorado at Creative Treasures. They have a cute little store. Thank you so much for that raid. They're not too far from us, but too far to drive on a regular basis. You have a lot of buyers close to you. Awesome. Yeah, so very cool. I love stores like that. We used to live in Washington State, and there was a store in the little town that we lived close to that was a, what would you call them? Like a thrift. I'm talking about rag finery.
Oh, Rag Finer, yeah. They were a nonprofit
Yeah, they were a nonprofit.
that very much believed in reuse, reduce, recycle.
Right, and so they took donations of all kinds of fabric and craft items, and they taught community classes. So they helped people learn how to sew, but you could go in there, and they just had all these amazing fun things, and they had a big, huge bin of scrap fabric, and you could just take a bag and fill it as full as you wanted with all kinds of cute scraps. They had bolts of fabric, they had loose fabric, and I loved that store. It was so much fun. And
Yeah.
then they were always teaching classes and making things. And anyway, so fun store. And I miss going there. So yeah, that's awesome. I love stores like that. And we always found good deals there. I found a lot of things that I sourced to use for my business. This was pre whatnot, but I did source a lot from them. All right. Any other comments or questions? I think we'll go find someone to raid. Thank you so much for being here and sharing this time with us. And make sure you got a screenshot of this to kind of help you brainstorm social media. And I highly recommend everyone learn how, not learn how, but um, start multicasting if you can to Facebook and or YouTube or both. it really does make a difference if you go live to go live in 3 places and have that exposure. So, and again, if you need help with setting that up, there are tutorials right on Whatnot. Just type in multicasting on help.whatnot.com or frequently asked questions, and it will bring up an article that walks you through it. And then if you need additional help, go to YouTube, Archivist. She has really good videos about how to set up your multicasting. All right, let's go see who we can raid into. And thank you so much for being here. Let's go raid into another fabric seller. I think we're going to raid back into the raid train that I was part of today, if they're still live. So let me see. Yeah, we're going to raid over into Lisa Works, part of the Fabric Feud raid train. They're still on. We had fun in that raid train today, paying it forward, going over to Lisa Works. If you don't know Lisa Works, you're missing out. She's amazing and super cute. And here's Lisa Works. So that's where we're going to go raid to. Okay. So let
Thank you
me
guys.
get it set up here. Thank you,
Have a
everyone.
great night.
Here we go. Bye for now.